So if you're here to learn about applying to college, then you are in the right place. Welcome to Abington Free Library's virtual event. My name is Mimi Satterthwaite, and I'm currently the acting young adult librarian, and I'm also the head of the reference department at Abington. Just wanted to let you know that there's lots of other summer activities going on at this time. They're all virtual, but please visit our website and take a look at them there. You can tap on the teens page to see some teen activities. And just some other housekeeping items. If you have questions, you can post them in the chat, and then we can all see all of the questions and see if there's any duplication of questions, and we'll do our best to have Pippa answer your questions before the event is over. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this event is being recorded. So it is my privilege to introduce Pippa Vanderstar. She's a local resident and experienced test prep coach and college advisor. So please welcome Pippa.
Thank you, Mimi. I really appreciate it. And Mimi's going to send you guys a list of resources after, which I've already seen. It looks really useful. She's been putting that together. So welcome, students and parents. I know in the era of COVID that there's a lot of anxiety about college applications, testing, whether or not it's going on or not. But what I'm going to talk about today is making a list of your colleges, assembling your team, narrowing down and figuring out which colleges you actually want to apply to from perhaps a broader list, and how to put your best self forward. Okay, I assume everyone on this wants to go to college, so I'm going to say a very positive statistic that a student of mine once told me, which is that a girl walked in and Duke Admissions had visited her school and reported that 92% of students get into their first choice college. So that is very good, and I completely believe that. In the next couple of months and this coming fall, you folks will be investigating colleges. You may have older siblings who are at college, your parents may have gone to college, so they know the process. But you will get very used to which colleges are going to accept you. Another thing I want to tell you to encourage you so you don't get discouraged in this is that only 17% of colleges are very selective and accept fewer than 50%. So most colleges take 50% or more of the students that apply. You're going to get into college. College educated adults tend to earn more than high school graduates. And the earnings are in many ways in the richness of your life and the opportunities that come after all the hard work you've done in college. You will pay for college with your time, all your effort, and also money, but it will be worth it, I think. And all the efforts you put in will help expand you. And I think you're going to realize that that's one reason the college-educated adults tend to earn more. All right, now we come to the heart of the presentation. That was just the preamble. What can you control in this current situation? Well, one of the first things you can do is you can, despite the uncertainty of testing and other uncertainties, there are certain things you could do to enhance your chances of acceptance. The first thing you need to do, which you may already have done with your college advisor and your family, is make a list, a large list of colleges that you want to apply to. And make sure they're colleges that you are interested in. Look on the websites and find out if you're interested in the subjects, or assemble a list of colleges that are going to answer your needs. So if your great Aunt Tilly went to a particular college that she may have an in on for admissions, but they don't have soccer, and you really want to play collegiate soccer, don't apply to that college. So apply to colleges that you would like to attend, not someone else would like to attend or could help you get into. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to assemble your team. So you've got parents, grandparents, friends, maybe people you know, family friends who've already graduated from college, your college advisor, perhaps a favorite teacher. all these people are going to stand with you through the college process, and you can call on them for advice. You may find yourself fending off worries, but you should feel free to email your college advisor at high school and even your teachers who you have this year. All right, so you've got this list. Most students apply to 7 to 10 colleges. And so what does that mean? Let's break it down. So if you've got 7 colleges you're applying to, you need to spread it out over safeties, 2 safeties, 3 maybes or possibilities, and then 2 reaches. So 2, 3, 2. If you want to apply to 10 colleges, it could be 3, 4, 3. 3 safeties, 4 maybes, and 3 reaches. But for the safeties, a lot of students walk in the door and they tell me, oh, Pippa, I don't really want to go to this college, but it's my backup. It's a slam dunk. Look into that college. I have had some students, I've heard about students who've been, none of mine, happily, who've been disappointed and they haven't gotten into their maybes or their reaches. So make sure that your safeties are colleges you're pretty excited about attending and that you're willing to attend. So once you have that range of colleges, how are you going to investigate which ones you actually want to go to? The first thing I would say this summer is go to the college websites. We don't have the luxury of visiting colleges. We might in the fall, but it might still be a little dicey. Go to the college websites and the colleges you're quite interested in, get to know their websites really well. I want you to look at them a lot. Go back and visit them repeatedly through the summer. Find out everything you can about the character of the college. You can also use this process to narrow down. Maybe you've got 15 colleges you're interested in, but you want to get it down to a list of 7, and maybe 1 or 2 you'll apply to early. So you can use this process to help you narrow it down. Make virtual tours on the websites. Look at the tone of the websites of the colleges you want to apply to that are on your list. Look at the personality. This is the way the colleges promote themselves. Do you think you could be comfortable there? Do you see yourself there? Do they have classes that you would like to take? Departments, engineering, solid biology, that you would maybe sign up and do? A strong history department. Whatever it is for you, go back and visit often. This is going to be the opportunity for you to, connect with colleges that you can't otherwise visit in person. Okay, now you all know about what I'm going to tell you is probably the most important thing in whittling down this list, and that's Naviance. Your high school has Naviance, which you plug in your GPA and your test scores. That's a little hard now, but we'll talk about that in a sec. And then it gives you a rectangle of people from your high school who've applied, who've gotten in. This is really an excellent tool. Your high school already has a relationship with colleges. And if they've accepted 20 people, you will know what kind of kids, or at least with those 2 data points, you can use to get in. All right, if you haven't yet taken the SAT or the ACT, use your PSAT scores. And then from the fall, and I would suggest you add 100 points or 150 points to your PSAT scores, because without any additional prep, I find that people's PSAT scores go up to the SAT. So for instance, if your PSAT score was 1,000, plug in 1,100 or 1,500 for your pretend SAT score. Naviance may not let you do that. It may already have all your information on it, but then you could still look at the rectangle and move your score over a little. Most colleges now that you're going to be applying to are score optional. If you don't want to take SATs this summer or next fall, you don't have to do that. We may talk about that later, that little nuance or twist. Okay, so you're going to do Naviance. You're going to open up your Common Application account. The official new Common App comes out on August 1st, but you can already establish your account, and you're going to want to fill in your personal information, select your colleges as soon as you can do that, because that will show you if they make you write supplemental essays. And the essay questions this year will not change from last year. You probably already know that. This is a savvy group of listeners, I'm sure. But start working on your college essays. There's going to be one additional question on the Common App that they're adding about COVID-19, 250 words. If you've had a traumatic experience in the past 3.5 months, you could write about it. But otherwise, if you're just sitting at home, like lots of us are, slightly bored, I wouldn't answer that question. You're going to want to focus the main part of your energy on your main essay. Okay, the only other thing I might say is if you decide not to do any testing or not submit testing from the spring, you really need to make your application solid, because they're going to be doing a deep dive into all the other fascinating aspects that you have to present to a college. So make sure your college essays are top notch, and I would recommend working on them this summer. All right, so you're looking at your college list. A lot of kids may feel like they need to be close to home this year because of COVID-19 and Corona worries. But if you cast a wider geographic net, you may find that colleges far away will be positively happy to accept you. That has been the case in the past, and I don't think it's going to change. And in fact, I had a student who signed up for a local college, and then she got into Cornell, which is a little further from here. She wanted to be close to her family, but she got off the wait list over the summer, and so she's going to go to New York and go out of state, and that's a great situation. So I would just say, look geographically spread out. Go up to Boston, go down to Florida, North Carolina, the Midwest, California. Cast a wider geographic net. The other thing is that private institutions sometimes give money, more money, that would make their tuition comparable to state or public institutions. And so you may not be comfortable with that at the moment, but I will tell you, the New York Times has a very good calculator with just a couple of questions that do not make you divulge everything about yourself. It's pretty impersonal. You can plug in those data points and they will come back with what a private college would expect you to pay. So over the summer, you're gonna look into set up your college list. You're gonna start investigating colleges, go on Naviance, cast a wider geographic net, look at private colleges, and you're gonna figure out how much college costs. Can you afford it? There are two other college calculators I would mention. One good one is US News and World Report, and the other one is the College Board itself. It'll let you know what the family contribution is. So sit down, don't be shy. Sit down with your parents, and parents, don't be shy about that. Sit down with your children and tell them which colleges they can apply to. You don't want them applying to ones that are going to be ridiculously expensive, which will never give you any money. So do your homework this summer, and where many of us are trapped inside, we have time to do it. So if you've applied to, and you have on your list a diversity of safeties, maybes, reaches, colleges here, colleges out of state, public institutions, private institutions, in the spring, you may have packages that will come in, which you can compare. All right, how are you going to look at these colleges? Well, there are some virtual tours you can take. One of the most popular and professional websites for searching for colleges is called Campus Tours. Campus Tours, they have 1,600 colleges on there, here and also overseas. And you can select, like say you only want to pay a certain amount of tuition, you can say tuition up to this level, and it will only show you those colleges. Or if you want to be in Vermont, it'll show you the Vermont colleges, or the ones that the student body is, 21,000 and huge. It'll select those, so you can select them. Then you take your college tour on this virtual website, and you can ask a question to the admissions office, because That's what we're all missing in this day and age of being at home, is being actually able to get the vibe of a college and to talk to the people who give us the tours. You can ask questions of admissions. You can do that anyway by email. And campus tours will contact admissions and they will send you back the answer. There's another site that is highly touted, and it's called YouVisit, Y-O-U Visit, all one word. They have 600 American colleges. You can do that same thing in Ask Admissions if you want to know something specific about their college. Like, are you good at, I don't know, data analysis programs? You know, how's your computer science? Something like that. So another thing I think is good is we all need to, in this era, do a deeper dive into these colleges. You could visit, you could talk to friends in the past, you can still talk to friends now, but how are we going to get the insider knowledge about whether or not a college is for me? I went to YouTube this week and I was looking at what colleges present, the official presentations they give on YouTube, and then some of the videos that students upload, either their dorm move-in experience or what they like about the college, or maybe indeed what they don't like. So you can read blogs, you can go to YouTube, you can log on to College Confidential, and College Confidential is a website that has all the colleges listed, and you ask questions about that specific college. So you can go on there and people who are there now will answer you, or if someone graduated from there, they'll give you a response. It's you probably know about it, you're all savvy, but it's a dialogue among people who are interested in a particular college. Now there's one aspect of College Confidential that I think makes students a little nervous, and that is that some students post all their academics and all their awards. I have 7 APs and they're all 5s, and that just makes you really nervous. Don't look at College Confidential for that reason. And I would say, keep your focus. Don't get nervous by all the stuff you read online. It used to be that everyone was all talking to each other, and you're probably still talking to your friends, but try not to get nervous. There is a lot that you can manage this summer. So you're going to go on these virtual tours. You might check out YouTube. There are 2 other websites that are very good, that are sort of jazzier. University, so it's spelled Y-O University, all one word, and then Campus Reel, which I'm sure you have tripped over on your visits through the internet. All right, so we've talked about how you're going to do some deep dives. When you go visit the college website of colleges you want to apply to, there may be an opportunity to do an interview. And if there is, I would recommend you take that. So college websites are getting their information up online. Some of them are a little sluggish and behind the 8 ball on this, you might notice, and they might be a little more focused in August. But colleges that really want to promote themselves, small liberal arts, they have excellent websites, and they will have on there information sessions on Zoom, just like this. And I will give you a tip. If you attend an information session like that, please write your whole name at the bottom of your image, because it is like you're checking into a college. In the past, students who showed interest to a college were registered and kept track of way, but just to show interest, because if you end up applying, the colleges know that students who have showed interest tend to be the ones who actually accept them. So if you go to a Zoom information meeting, write your whole name at the bottom of the screen and show up. Also, you can email college admissions, you can email faculty, professors, coaches at these colleges. All of that will go into demonstrating interest. The other thing that will is if they have interviews over the summer, I would definitely take them up on the opportunity to do that. Some interviews are merely informative and some are evaluative. Evaluative interviews will probably not harm you and they will only benefit you. that you need to practice for them. So get your mom or your dad or an older sibling who's gone this route or your college advisor over Zoom to sit down and ask you questions and practice. I wouldn't do it with a friend. I don't think a friend is going to be quite as knowledgeable. And don't worry, if you do an interview and you don't know everything about the college, you're okay. Do look on the website ahead of time and have a sense of the college so that you can ask some intelligent questions. All right, a lot of colleges, if you apply, will have an alumnus or alumna interview you afterwards. So just realize that they will list that on their website, that if you're applying, you may get an alum asking you. All right, now we get to another part. What do you have to offer to a college? How are you going to put your best foot forward with colleges? So you have done many classes in your high school, some remotely at the end of this year. You might be interested in physics or chemistry or history or English or all of the myriad wonderful foreign languages or dead languages. That's what you have to offer. You might be a member of the robotics club, the debate team. Outside of high school, you might work for money. You might do volunteer work, either through your church, your synagogue, or a civic association. Those are all of the wonderful things that make you up and that make you college ready. So just be yourself when you're presenting yourself to a college. Some students feel like they need to crowbar themselves into what they think a college expects, but don't do that. Just be yourself and be authentic. If you are trying to present yourself in a way that is inauthentic, the colleges will hear that or notice that, and it will just ring false. And of course, you're not going to do this. Don't have your parents write your college essays. A admissions person can spot a mile away the voice of an adult. So just write them yourself. Okay, this summer you're going to be spending time self-reflecting and having some knowledge about yourself. I want you to know yourself and to figure out what your values are and what are the values that will put you in harmony with colleges you want to apply to. A lot of students want to major in STEM or STEAM courses. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. If this is you, I would say definitely go for it. There's been a gigantic push in America in the last 10 to 15 years for STEM and STEAM. And we definitely need people who major in that. But don't feel, remember what I said about inauthentic? Don't feel that if that's not you, that you need to major in mathematics when you're applying for college. And indeed, many students don't know what they want to major in when they apply to college. And that is legitimate to say that. A lot of people do. They have a sense, I'm a humanities person or I'm a math science person. So there's a recent study that came out that talks about humanities versus STEM and STEAM. And so if you are a humanities person, and traditionally at the moment, only about 11% of people are majoring in liberal arts or the humanities. But this study says that scientists and mathematicians, STEM people who major in college, tend to do very well the first 5 years they're out. And then their salaries, maybe even their career path, kind of tops out. And in the long run, the liberal arts people are making more money. So just put that in the back of your mind. Even if you're going to be an engineer, do take a diversity of classes in the humanities. And you might also think down the line to bone up on your skills, maybe take a master's of business or a master's degree in your particular subject, just to keep your skill set sound. Okay, so moving on. I want you to pursue your dream. I don't want you to shortchange yourself. If you want to be a graphic designer or a stage set creator, go and do it. If you want to be an astrophysicist, I am all for that. So you're looking at your colleges. Your parents are probably breathing down your neck a little bit. I would say forestall them. Make a plan. Get a calendar, make a plan, put dates on it. You know that the Common App comes out August 1st. You will have looked at the essays. You will have gone to investigate colleges, and you could even have on your calendar, I'm going to check out NYU by this date. And if you haven't done it, add it to the next week. But get a hard copy calendar, or get a spreadsheet and make a calendar that way. Set up phone reminders. Treat this like a professional job. Because once you get to the fall, college search process can become a whole nother class. And you really have luxury in a way this summer. It may be an unwanted luxury, but you have time on your hands to be able to really investigate and do the bulk of your college applications this summer. You'll be in better shape. So make a plan, get a calendar. Are you applying early action? That is non-binding. And those dates are November 1st or November 15th, depending on the institution. Put those dates on your calendar and then backdate. And before you apply early, you've got to have your transcripts and your college essays and your whole Common App filled out and recommendations. So I think you juniors are probably pretty with it. You're on this Zoom session. You've probably already identified the 2 faculty members that you want to write recommendations. But if you haven't, I recommend you ask a teacher from junior year and they will write it over the summer. And you can email them if you haven't already secured this and ask them kindly, I really liked your course. I wish we could have met in class at the end. I'm very interested in pursuing something similar to that class in the future. Would you be willing to write a recommendation? Because when you go on the Common App and you select your recommenders, it's a very impersonal thing. And so you want to do your best, put your best foot forward, telling these faculty members whom you value that you'd like their recommendation. The other thing I'd say is, okay, that's it. Yes, applying early. If you're gonna apply early, make sure you pretty much have B's and A's on your high school transcript for junior year. If you have any C's or D's, wait to apply regular. I always tell students this, and make a commitment to yourself. If your junior year is not as sound as it could be, make a commitment to yourself to work very hard in the fall and then apply regular to colleges on January 1st or January 5th. The other thing is, some students want to take a gap year, and some ask me about it. My advice for kids who want to do a gap year, and I'm sure your parents and college advisors will tell you the same thing, it's always easier to apply to college from high school and then get in and defer than to apply to college once you're out of high school doing a gap year. And the other thing that people are talking about is, what are people going to do for the gap year if we're not all back in school? All right, now I believe that admission to college it's a public justice issue. So if there are any students on here who are low income, or perhaps in the future when the library posts this, there might be some low income students. I wanted to bring to your attention some scholarships that need your attention now in June and in July. Questbridge, QUESTBRIDGE, annually gives out about 3,000 scholarships a year to low-income students in America. To qualify, you can be any ethnicity, but the family must earn $65,000 or less. And so that helps address the disparity between middle class, upper middle class, and rich people who are all getting into college, and the bottom 10% or the bottom 20% in our country who have historically not had adequate access to college. So if you are one, or you know of a low-income kid, have them go on the website. The deadline is September 29th, but you need to fill out about 8 little essays and 1 or 2 long ones this summer. Familiarize yourself with the process this summer and start to work on it. Get in touch with your college counselor immediately. And if they don't have experience with QuestBridge, find one of the other college counselors in the school that does. It's an excellent resource. The other thing that they do that is extraordinary is they allow you to apply early to several colleges, which really is amazing. And they have 42 member institutions, which actually pay the whole scholarship for 4 years of tuition. All right, another great scholarship to know about is the Gates Millennium, which has about 300 a year. And that has an ethnic criterion. So if you're African American, Latinx, Native American, or Asian and Pacific Islander American, you can apply to the Gates Millennium Scholarship. To apply to that financially, you need to be Pell eligible. The Pell grants are federal grants that are given in every state to students who are going to college and whose income, family income, is $80,000 or less. So a lot of people are eligible for this. So the Gates Millennium Fund pays for 4 years, full tuition at a 4-year college in which you're going full time. Could you maybe get into Harvard or Princeton or Yale? If so, and you'd like to go to school in North Carolina, UNC Chapel Hill has one of the most famous scholarships in the United States, and that is let me get the name right, the Moorhead Kane Scholarship, which is also full tuition for 4 years. And if you are academically sound, you're athletic, and you have leadership skills, you're humble, the thing that all those scholarships have in common, the QuestBridge, the Gates, and the UNC Chapel Hill, is that they have a group of people who help support you during your 4 years of college. They have a small subset, a relationship, and that is very attractive to students. There are a lot of colleges. Mimi, who's up here hosting, went to Smith. Smith has a lot of scholarships that it offers. If you are a robustly academic woman, young woman, because Smith is single sex, they have levels of merit scholarships that they give. There are many colleges in America that want to attract capable students who attract you with merit money. So this is the time, this summer is the time to investigate those. There's another scholarship, but it doesn't work for Philadelphians. It's called the Posse. And if you have friends in Boston, Washington, Atlanta, and 7 other cities, it is also for low income. And they gave out this past year 742 scholarships. And Barack Obama donated some of the money that he got from his Nobel Peace Prize to the Posse Foundation. And the head of Posse has a MacArthur Genius Award. So people are using good money to help low-income kids. All right, one parent asked me, this is the last thing I want to talk to you. A parent emailed me today and said, should I prep for standardized tests if the environment is so uncertain? And what I would say about that is that standardized tests usually benefit the students who do extremely well. And so if you have done this spring and you're a junior quite well on your SATs or ACTs, send them to colleges. We will see if the July ACT goes ahead, if the August SAT goes ahead. I kind of suspect if they don't, colleges will be even more determined to honor score optional status and will just pretty much think that SATs and ACTs are something that they don't deal with this year. If you are not a particularly good standardized test taker, this is your year. So I wouldn't even worry about taking these tests or trying to sign up. I would just apply honorably to all 1,700 colleges in America are now score optional. All of the Ivy League is score optional. And where the Ivy League goes, everyone else follows. So I think you can pretty much figure out that because of COVID, SATs and ACTs are a thing of the past, at least for this year. And we'll see what comes back. Because the University of California, the UC system, they have been wanting to do away with standardized tests for decades. And now they have the chance. And they've pretty much said that anyone who's in state in California who's applying to college, to a state college, will not have to take standardized tests in the next 4 years. So out of state, they're still not telling you. All right, that about wraps it up. So I would say make a list, investigate, figure out what is the message of yourself that you're going to convey to a college, honestly, truthfully. When you write a college essay, I want you to have at least 2 or 3 people to edit it. We're going to talk about essays next time in July. I'm going to talk about filling out the Common App, my tips, especially for the extracurricular section, supplements, main Common App essay, and finding scholarship money. Okay, do people have any questions?
We do have one question in the chat.
Did it get answered?
Not yet. It's about for the Pell Grants, is the income limited to the adjusted gross income? Do you know the answer to that, Pippa?
Is it net or is it gross? That I suspect it's probably net, but I'm not 100% sure. And you're going to go Google this and you're going to find, no, Pippa, it's gross. So just go figure it out. I'm not actually really sure, but there's a big difference if you're taking deductions, because gross is everything that your father and mother earn, and net is after all the deductions have been taken, including donating into your retirement funds. All right, so I think that answers that, or didn't.
Yeah.
Anyone else have a question? Nope. All right, Mimi, do you have any thoughts?
Just sign up for more of the teen events. But if anything comes to mind, you can send us an email at askabington@gmail.com. We can be in touch by email as well. If you think of a question, later tonight or tomorrow, I'm sure Pippa will be happy to answer, and I can forward some questions to her. I think that's it. Raise your hand or give a shout out if you have a question right now. Otherwise, I think we'll go ahead and end the meeting.
It's great. Thank you so much, Mimi, for hosting.
Thank you.
Thank you, families. Good luck.
Good luck. Yep. See you soon.